Hello. I used to think meditation was this weird activity some people did, but due to a moment of weakness, I thought, why not? And tried it out. See, I never had a set time where I scheduled to meditate. I kind of just did it when I felt like it, and I did it for a week. After a week, I realized, hey, why not make it a month? Quick note of this. I only meditated for 3 minutes a day for the first week, and somewhere along in the second week, I bumped it up to 5 minutes. It kind of just stayed at 5 minutes for the rest of the month. Not sure when it clicked, but somewhere in that month, I connected a few dots on why people meditate, or I realized how meditating helped me personally, besides all the known health benefits, of course. The best thing about it was my attention span. To put some context here, this was like peak TikTok, where I scrolled for hours and hours and my screen on time was terrible. It was one of those things where I felt like I could just self-diagnose ADHD, and I couldn't really hold my attention span on anything important. Like, I literally couldn't focus on a thing. Then the habit of meditation kicked in, and everything started to make sense. It sounds silly, but before I started meditating, I couldn't hold my attention span for 30 seconds. I know 30 seconds seems like something that should be possible, but it's pretty hard. Like, this was peak COVID, and there was nothing else to do. But somewhere in that month, it kind of clicked, and 30 seconds didn't feel that long anymore. It reminds me of that rule. If you start a task or you focus on something for more than 2 minutes, you end up doing more of that task or even finishing that task. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and I have a pretty good explanation on why I think this works. Just a side note, when I meditate, I choose to focus on my breath. Sounds boring, I know, but I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. That's all I think about. You can pick something else to focus on, but that's just what I do. So when you're meditating, you'll think of the most random things. Like, you close your eyes, trying to focus on breathing, right? And you'll have things you would have never thought of. It's just there in your mind. Like, why not? But hey, the mind's a weird place. But that's when you step in. And I'm calling that your conscious mind. When you catch yourself lacking, thinking about anything else but breathing, for example, drop that. Drop that thought immediately. Pull yourself back. Focus on your breathing. Basically, using your conscious mind to teach your unconscious mind what you should be doing. And that's what we call a brain rep. Like how you do reps or repetitions at the gym. You realize whenever you're wandering off, you got to catch yourself, bring yourself back to being focused in the present, or whatever you chose to be focused on earlier, so that was breathing for me, and count that as a rep. I can't stress enough, when your mind wanders off, again and again, bang, keep catching yourself, keep bringing yourself back in, right? Keep bringing yourself back to breathing or whatever you're focusing on. You're going to realize it wanders off quite a bit. Keep building up those reps, and eventually, no promises, but high key, your concentration will increase. Well, for me, I could focus on my breathing patterns during that time for longer, and towards the end of the month, 3 minutes didn't feel as long anymore. Eventually, you'll be able to hold your concentration, well, for me, breathing patterns for a lot longer. So me meditating for 3 minutes, it doesn't feel as long anymore, because like those 3 minutes in the first week felt like a whole hour, but now 5 minutes doesn't feel too short, but it feels doable, It sounds silly, but after I graduated, and because, I became a full-time adult, I somehow had to teach myself how to concentrate again. The amount of TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, living with all these distractions on my phone was just killer on my attention span. I mean, mind you, these apps are created to keep you on the platform. Like, that's what they're intended to do. But it hit too close to home. It disrupted my way of thinking. Like, that's all I thought about when I was bored, just hopping on my phone. I believe if you can't concentrate on something, you can't progress in life. So who doesn't want to do well in life, If you can't fix your attention span and complete a task which is good for you, you'll always be stuck in your present self. It reminds me of the saying I heard that goes, you only have 2 lives. The second one starts when you realize you only have one. Imagine a life where you get nothing done, right? And when you pass away, someone hands you a card that says, you were the only one capable of helping yourself. Like, damn, let's not make that happen.